happening, YouTube, man? This is Mr. ATF. Y'all know what it is, allergic to failure. I got my partner here, Life, man.
Peace.
Motivational speaker, poet, all around good guy. But he's, like I say, a lot of times I have few and far in between friends. So he's really somebody I call a friend. I didn't want the YouTube page just to be about working out, but about life. About building not only just your physical body, but your mental body. So, life in itself, what do you think, just for you, and you branding you, what is your greatest standard?
Say again?
What is your greatest standard for yourself?
It's the brand, expectation of greatness, and to be village minded. So those two things that are my brand are the greatest asset for me, and it's the greatest standard. It reminds me every day, every time I go out, every time I do anything, first and foremost, move with an expectation of greatness. The other thing is to understand, overstand, and understand. To be village minded, my mind first has to be on the village of the collective people that come around me and support what I do, the collective of people that help raise me, the collective of people that poured into me, and the people that's drinking from the well of knowledge that I've attained through mistakes and living life that I've poured back out. I have a responsibility to those people as well as the brand. So my brand itself is the biggest attribute and the biggest foundation of what the standard is for the way that I move.
And I know y'all like, man, he answered that ultra professional. Yes, he did. But outside of that, because you were just saying, your standard of living is living up to your brand. So, all right, this is what I'm saying. You don't fake it to make it.
No, I think it's only so in the words of Jay, it's only so long that fake can fake up and still progress. Like you can't fake it for so long. You can't fake it for so long. Eventually, the real you is gonna show up, and then what happens? It's you need to make sure that your lips and your feet match. So before you talk, you really need to see how you walk, and then say what it is that you do. Not say something and then try to do it with your feet, because eventually you're gonna go off the beaten path. So you have to make sure that what you talk about and what you do correspond. So especially with this new social media area, when you get behind that computer, you can be anybody. You can create this grandiose person, this representative of who you are, but it's gonna come a day when somebody bumps into you in Walmart in aisle 3, and they're gonna be expecting that person that you sold the world. If that person doesn't show up, it's detrimental to your brand. So I think be true to yourself and let that be your brand. Now, does that mean you're not going to ever be hypocritical on something? No, because with knowledge comes hypocrisy. So when you start growing, your viewpoints and things may change. But the person that you are right now in the moment, be that person inspiring to be the person that you want to be tomorrow.
I totally agree with you on that, because a lot of people, I've never been the go with the flow guy. People who do the same thing I do, and I tell them quickly, yeah, we might do the same thing, but I'm in my own lane.
Sure did.
Because it's certain things that in my character and my thought process I can't vibe with, and I choose not to. It ain't that I'm not out partying, I ain't out doing this, that, the third. If that's what you do, that's what you do. That's just not me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't knock you for what you do, because that's you. That's just not me.
That's right.
But a lot of people will say, okay, well, you have a high standard for yourself. But when what do you say if somebody tells you got a high standard for yourself? What would be your thought process?
Thank you. Really, like, why don't you have a high standard for yourself? You got a high standard for the car you drive, for the cable service you got, the high standard for your kids. You got a high standard for the clothes you wear, everything that you've ever purchased with any dollar, high standard for the food you want to eat, but you don't put a standard on yourself? Les Brown said people don't make it their dreams not because they shoot too high, it's because the vast majority of people shoot too low and make it. So what happens when you make it? So if my standards aren't high, what am I reaching for? What am I running after? Because actually I'm just going to walk right into it. So if your standards aren't high, you're going to be stagnant in life. Because what happens when you get to where you're going? Yeah, I got a high standard. I should have a high standard. I'm supposed to have a high standard. Most people don't even have a standard. They're just going through life. Whatever happens today happens. But if you tell me I got a high standard, thank you. I'm trying to live up to that. And when I don't make the mark tomorrow, I wake up and I go back to get that high standard again. Also, Les Brown said, shoot for the moon. If you miss, you're still amongst the stars. That's a high standard. So even if I don't ascertain or make it to the level that I want to, I'll always be above bar. So yeah, that's a compliment. Thank you.
Because I meet I can't say dream killers, but I'm never a dream killer. I'm always the person to tell somebody, man, a dream ain't never too big. It just might be that you say to yourself that it's too big.
Dream killers. Dream killers only effective if you're willing to commit suicide. You're the only person to kill your own dream. Nobody don't be dreaming with me. My wife lay in the bed with me, but she don't dream for me. You can only dream for yourself. So if it's your dream, nobody else can kill it. You could just commit suicide on it. You could not get it done. It's not going to be easy. It might be somebody to try to stand in the way of whatever it is that you do. But Bruce Lee said it best. Like, if you put me in a pot, I'll become the pot. If you pull me on the ground, I'll become the ground. You got to be like water. So water is one of those things. Wherever you put me, I'm going to be good, and I'm going to go to my destination. Water always try to get the water, and if it gets stuck, it evaporates back in the clouds, go over here, fall down as rain, and start the process back over. So to any dream killer who tries it, you know what I'm saying, you're going to have to wake up real early. It's going to be like trying to catch smoke in your hands. Trying to catch smoke. That's the only way. When you try to catch my dream and kill it, that's how it's going to go for you. But I know what you mean, those negative people that's around you. But sometimes you got to let that be your motivation as well.
Yeah, because I told somebody the other day, I said, some people got to be around you. I said, you got to have some haters.
Oh, yes, indeed.
You got to have some haters. Not saying they in your circle, but you got to have somebody that's always around talking about that ain't going to work.
It's motivation.
And I'm the person like I'm always saying, I believe I live in the realm of impossibility. When you say it's impossible, I'm like I'm that one.
Shoot, look at the word impossible itself.
Yeah.
You break it down, it's not impossible, it's I'm possible. So
yes.
It's just motivation. Thank you, Dream Killer.
So what would you say about the word passion? The word passion in itself.
Oh man, I think it changes the game. It changes the climate. Passion separates what level you perform at. It's a lot of people who could technically speak well. It's a lot of people who technically do poetry well, or technically write well, or technically do anything well. They can technically teach you how to lift weights. But if they don't have the passion, the hunger, the drive to do it, they might know everything fundamentally sound on doing hair. Somebody else may have the passion for it. So where they might just do it by what the book says, they're going to do it to what your personality says when they do your hair. When somebody knows how to technically lift weights or what have you, they might say, this is how you gain this. But the other person with a passion is going to go beyond to, this is just what you do for this. They're going to look at the person's physique, how his genealogy is built, however he's built biology. Just autonomically, how that person's put together, and look at his bloodline and be like, listen, your whole family shaped like big Southern Deacon, so you're going to need to do this to work that part, because that's the focus of your life. So when you have a passion about something, it changes the level that you perform at. I have a passion about what I do, so when I wake up in the morning, I go do it. It doesn't matter if somebody gives me a platform, whether my feet are planted, that's my platform. So my passion isn't driven by a paycheck. It's not driven by an opportunity that somebody else thinks they can give me. If God woke me up this morning, my opportunity's already set.
I think you me and Life met at an event, and I said something about being poor, P-O-O-R. Yes, I said it right. I think I might have put too many O's in there, so don't knock me. P-O-O-R, passing over opportunity regularly. How many people have you met, or how many opportunities can you say that you missed?
Oh man, when I was younger, a gang of them. I think people miss opportunities now. Even when you become a professional, you have to be leery of the egos of other people.
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of times the entrepreneur or the dreamer miss their opportunity, because other people say, oh, you gonna do that for free? You shouldn't do that for free. Oh, you gonna go help that person? You shouldn't go help that person. And that generates a thing that may make you miss an opportunity. As I got older, I missed a couple of opportunities because I wasn't wise enough to know there were opportunities. But at this point in life, I evaluate things a lot better. So I missed some opportunities, but I learned it hard. But from here on out, and pretty much for the last couple of years, I try to make sure that I capitalize on those things. But I have to say this too, every opportunity ain't an opportunity for you.
Yeah.
Somebody calls me, oh, he was in the Marine Corps, he did X, Y, Z, let me get him about working out. He come speak to the people about working out. Disabled, I ain't working out. So that opportunity is for me, but it's for me to give to you.
Yeah, 'cause leaps of faith. What would you say? What are your greatest leaps of faith?
Faith itself. A lot of people say a leap of faith and don't realize to have faith is one of the greatest leaps of faith. Like to really say, whatever it is, I believe I can do it. like first to understand faith itself, like, cause it's a tricky thing for people. They're like, what do you mean? Like nobody in your family ever did anything like that. Nobody you know has ever did anything like that. You're just gonna believe in this blindly in a world where everything is dictated and determined off the facts. Or now I ain't gonna say that. I was gonna say the alternative facts. But in a world where everything is based on I gotta have it now, it's got to happen now, I gotta see it now, da 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 da. If I don't see it, it's not factual. The biggest leap of faith was having faith. Having faith and belief in the person who gives faith.
Well, I'm quick to say, you can tell me the facts on the situation, but I show the truth in it.
But no,
Because you can say, well, the facts are that you're not supposed to be there. The facts are that you're not supposed to be living. The facts are that statistically you weren't supposed to be in this position. Statistically, I was supposed to be gone. By statistics, that's the facts. But truth is, here we are. So I can't say that I beat the statistics. No, I just knew that I heard the facts, but I made an obvious choice to do something different. Faith. So, all right, let's do something we normally do. Because for y'all might not know this, but we'll just be talking and rambling, man. Because sometimes you need people to pour into you. Because when you constantly pouring out, he's a motivational speaker, he's a poet, but when you constantly pouring out, it becomes taxing.
But no, on everything around you.
So,
and I think I talk God because I believe Him. But I think as soon as you say that thing that you're gonna motivate somebody with, He gonna test you to see if you believe that. When I made that Beauty and the Beast joint, He gonna test you to see if you're gonna sleep in the back of this van again. He gonna tell whatever you put out in the universe, that taxing part, you're gonna have to live and die by it. So it's that part when we talk, it's not spending time, it's investing time. So when I spend time with somebody, it costs me something all the time. But when we invest time, it's equally as much as I pour out, I get it back on the return on the investment when we talk, because I learned something that I didn't know. So it's that's the beauty in me and you communicating, because I always get something back. So I'm not just pouring out. It's a reciprocal thing, and I get a return on the investment, because what I see, and when we talk, whatever we talk about, you make it manifest. A lot of people don't have that hunger. Some people talk to hear themselves talk. They ask you questions just because they want to be around you. You give them the information. 6 months later, they're like, "Hey, ask you the same question," and they're not gonna apply anything they're asking you. You say it today. By the time you get home, you worked it out on Google on the phone. Your wife already got it cut up, and you're off to the races. So
I mean, but that's there's a difference in. And I think I was telling somebody there's a difference in being thirsty and being hungry. I say when you're thirsty, you stick your head down in the water before you realize that it's toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And some people don't understand that. They don't understand that you'll actually, if you really thirsty, if somebody come out the desert, they see water, they ain't gonna look around and see if it's poison. Hunger makes you even evaluate, because especially if you're cooking. Especially if you're cooking. When you're hungry and you're cooking, the first thing you have to do is make sure all the ingredients are correct. Then you have to make sure that you apply every bad piece of seasoning for it to come out with the right flavor. And just being an entrepreneur is just like cooking. I can't flavor this meat and not know that it's gonna give me a good return.
That's right.
I can't do that. If I put too much seasoning on it, it's gonna be too rich. And then I can't even eat it. Now I'm be sitting here mad because I can't eat it, but somebody else can.
Right.
So for an entrepreneur, what would you say to them?
Realize this: the beauty and the beautiful, ugly in entrepreneurship. My uncle told me this. It's pretty. It's a great thing. You're your own boss, but you have to realize every day you wake up that you're your own boss. You're also unemployed.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing to an entrepreneur is you have to go get it. Like every day, every second of the day, your mind is going to be focused on you getting it until you get it. And even when you get it, you're going to have to make sure you keep it. You're going to have to go after the next thing, because that one thing is not going to satisfy. Every day you have to work to go and get it. So as an entrepreneur, I think the biggest thing is, are you willing to die for this? You have to ask yourself, are you willing to die for this? Are you willing everybody to turn their back on you? And I mean everybody. I'm talking about your spouse, your kids, everybody. If you have to do it by yourself to prove that it can happen, are you willing to die for it? But it's gonna come a point where your wife roll over, your husband roll over, your kids is looking at you crazy, because it doesn't happen overnight. they're gonna say, man, just go get a 9 to 5. And even you, some days you're gonna have to tell yourself you're gonna be your own worst enemy. You're gonna have to say, I'm gonna die before I quit this, because it's gonna be some hungry days, and they're always hiring at McDonald's.
Always.
Somebody's always willing to take your talent and have them use your talent for their gain. So for any entrepreneur, just you have to ask yourself, you have to really, in the mornings, I wake up in the morning every day and go to the bathroom for at least 3 hours. And I'm naked looking at myself in the mirror. If I can't look myself in the eye and say I can do this thing, then I might need to do something different. So the biggest thing I tell an entrepreneur is to ask yourself on a daily basis, am I willing to die for this? Because if you're willing to live for it, you also have to accept the other side of the coin. You're not going to live for it before you die for it.
I totally agree. There's one more question. Before we leave, I gotta get him to do this poem. If I can get him to do it, he might not do it for me. He might not, because he's supposed to be. We're supposed to hook up months ago and do a poem for a video that we still working on. Don't worry about it.
It's not a done deal to learn more than that.
Yeah. Because he done went and hung out with a whole bunch of videographers and because
you gotta go where the dudes is doing.
Because even with you, people sit back and they be saying, you have to be a sponge. You really have to be a sponge. I don't give a care what area of business you're in. You have to be a sponge, because then, like we were saying before we even got on camera, we're talking about marketing.
Oh, indeed.
And because marketing is worldwide. Just because you do something different than I do does not mean that marketing schemes are not the same.
That's right.
So in marketing your business, what do you want? And especially being an entrepreneur, when you tell an entrepreneur, when you're marketing for me, it's like me and you on the other. I'm a trainer. As a personal trainer, how do I market myself?
I think with anything, first thing you have to be the brand. Like people ask me all the time, how did you create Village Minded, or how did you create EOG? I didn't create. It's who I am. So when you see Village Minded, and that's the umbrella to anything that I do, it's because I was Village Minded first. So I didn't create a brand. I created a name for who I am. So if you're a physical therapist, if you're a physical trainer, the first thing is when you walk in that door, that's your business card. If I don't look at you and be like, oh, probably work out, I'm not gonna ask you about working out. If I look at you and be like, yo, you look like you know the right restaurant at, that's what I'm gonna ask you. So to any entrepreneur, you are your business card. I tell my mentee this all the time. You're your own video, you're your own commercial, your own magazine, your own newsreel. Everything about you is your brand. I got 100 pair of shoes. If I don't have a shirt that matches the pair of shoes, if I don't have something of my brand on, I'm not getting dressed that day, because every day I have to be the brand. So in marketing, that's the most important thing. You can't compromise your brand. You have to look the part. So if you do hair and your hair is not done, people won't question that. Facts. Your teeth whitener and your teeth ain't white, people won't question that. Now, only people get her pass is barbers. Because barbers with no haircuts usually can cut hair. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, for real, the biggest thing in marketing, I think, is make sure that your lips and your feet match, and always realize you are your brand. You're gonna sell it before anything else. So when I see on Instagram, if you say you do X, Y, and Z, I go to your Instagram page and I see you popping bottles all night. I see you doing everything else but the thing you say you do. You're the person that goes to the
put us in the same lane as me. Yeah. To do what I do. I realize some of the things when you look at their Instagram, their Facebook, or something, that's not me. And so I had to creatively say, you know what? Yeah, we do the same thing. We're in the same field and line of work, but I'm in my own lane. And I think that's what makes people really like the brand in itself, because I'm in my own lane. I'm not trying to be like nobody else. I ain't trying to shine like nobody else. My wife's my best friend. So I don't have to go run here, run there to do this, do that. I can go hang out. No, we can sit at the house and play Xbox.
Sure do.
You know, we've been trying to get back to Borderlands for the last month. You know, because running business.
Indeed.
You know, because being an entrepreneur is always business. There's never a day off. There's never an hour off. There's never a moment off. It's always okay. Because if I'm not training, I got to be bringing money in the house. Something got to happen.
That's right.
So, but the poem.
Yeah.
The poem. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, I'm getting old, y'all.
I already know what it is.
But hit it for me one time, man.
Yeah, of course. I think I'm glad you said that. This is in line with the question you asked me. Are you willing to die for this thing? Everybody says they're going to be an entrepreneur. Everybody says they got dreams and they want to do X, Y, and Z. And then, because they heard somebody sugarcoat it, or they saw somebody make it, but they didn't see what happened. Everybody see the fruits of your labor, but don't see you toiling in the field. So, the poem is actually about that. So it's, I dare you to dream. And then pursue the things that you want to do as if there's no plan B, there's no contingency for failure in here. So you can keep them weak cliches about blood, sweat, and tears unless you fully prepared to put your nose to the grindstone where blood floods nostrils, rips cartilage, and you left to the bare bones of this thing, where the only thing left standing is you, God, and your dreams. And he's asking you, what you gonna do? This ain't go hard or go home. This is go hard and there ain't no home to go to. Ain't nothing sweet about dreaming. Can't sugarcoat it for you. So before you talk to me about a dream, the question I need you to answer for me is, how much are you willing to go through to get it? See, if faith without work is dead, so is your dreams without commitment, time, dedication, and a sincere tenacity to go out there and get it, because ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. There's no handouts here. No such thing as free lunches. So if you ain't prepared to put your hand to the plow and get it off the sweat of your brow, then you need not apply in a place where dreams rely on you to persevere. Ain't no fruit for your labor if you ain't prepared to toil in this field. Be clear. When you start talking about dream chasing, you got to move with an expectation of greatness. Ain't no sitting around waiting for things to happen. If it's going to happen, you're going to have to be the one that makes it, jumps in the fire, fight for what you want. Your dreams require you to take them. Listen, nobody's ever made it to their dreams by sleeping, because in this battlefield where dreams lie, it's either you eat or be eaten, and nobody else can dream for you, but you can bet the house on this. If you don't grind, you will not eat. Not here. Because around here, there's no such thing as free lunches.
And if you have heard it, don't grind, you don't eat. So, man, we appreciate you checking us out, man. Allergic to Failure. If you're looking him up on Instagram, it's Life Speaks Life.
Life Speaks Life. Hashtag Village Minded anywhere this side of creation.
Basically.
You'll find one of us.
Basically. Me, True Fitness _GA. But hit us up, man. Let us know that you got inspired. Write something in the comments. Description box. Do something, Hopefully we said something that inspired you, because I want it to be different. If it's just about working out all the time, because guess what? That's just not the only part of my business. So, man, we appreciate y'all, and whatever you do, don't fail. Don't give up. Stay with it. We'll get back at you. Peace.
Peace.